moving from place to place, place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. We're coming to you live from the 3rd floor Port Mall, Lower Scarborough, Tobago. I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Now, viewers, it is International Women's Day being commemorated tomorrow, but this is our Women's Week being celebrated here on Tobago Updates for the entire week. And we had one beautiful lady on with us yesterday morning, and we've got another beautiful lady on with us today, and she'll introduce herself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Mariska Thomas.
Well, Mariska, as you know, viewers, has been on with us several times. She is a life coach, a conflict resolution coach, and she's been our guest several times on the program, but she is now hosting with us today for this show. Mariska, it's good to have you with us today. We're talking International Women's Day. Tell us about some of those significant women who have been instrumental in your life.
For me, first and foremost, it would have to be my mommy. Firstly, I can't say anybody else before her. She has been there every step of the way, doing everything for me, helping me. So at any chance I get to give advice on anything to anybody, I would have to say what I tell people, it comes from her. She speaks through me. Right. She has helped me with everything. You know, apart from her, it would be my aunt. She is like a second mother to me. She helped to raise me as well. Her name is Helena Halen. She's not here with us anymore, but she helped to raise me and to give me some of the qualities that I have for today.
All right. And certainly, so far, you know, we've been hearing it's about the mummies, and certainly my mommy was very instrumental, has been very instrumental, 49 years of my life, ensuring that I became the woman that I am today. And we thank God for those mummies out there who play that part in their daughters' lives. Well, viewers, before we continue on this morning, we've got news in 90 seconds coming up with Candace.
Thank you, Rhea and Mariska. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 6th March 2023. The Ministry of Works and Transport proposed a plan to extend the Scarborough Jetty, but the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development claimed the THA was not consulted. According to a press release, the division said that Chief Secretary Fali Augustin was invited to a focus group consultation regarding the extension of the jetty by NIDCO. It was the first time they were presented with plans and information regarding the 88-meter extension. They claimed that the government is encroaching on the THA's responsibilities and urged them to resist any further temptations to do so. Meanwhile, Chief Secretary Fali Augustin led a contingent to Berlin in Germany for the ITB trade show. Accompanying him is Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tasha Boris, and Executive Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, Alicia Edwards, and other tourism stakeholders. They hope to strengthen alliances with the German and Scandinavian markets and secure additional airlifts to destination Tobago. While Augustin is away, Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel will serve in his absence. And nationally, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, withdrew the decades-old corruption case against former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday, his wife Omar, former Minister Carlos John, and businessman Ishwar Gabaran Singh. The case was expected to go to trial before Magistrate Adia Mohammed in 2019. The Pandays and others were charged with corruptly receiving money concerning the Piarco Airport expansion project. On June 29, Gaspard ruled that a joint trial of the allegations in Piarco 1 and those arising from similar matters were desirable. 2 days later, the Privy Council held that a complaint by the accused of apparent bias against then Chief Magistrate Shimon McNichols was sufficient to strike down their commitment to stand trial. Gaspard explained that his decision was based on the low probability of his office securing convictions in the case. And that was the news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Rhea and Mariska.
Thank you so much there, Candace. Thank you so much there. And we're going to head on over, Mariska, into our birthday celebrations. We've got quite a few coming up today. It seems as though something about March. What is it?
March is the best month of the year.
I'm afraid to even ask why. I am afraid to even ask why. So we've got our first birthday shout out this morning going out to Pulwati B Path celebrating her birthday. Love going out to you, Miss P. And we trust that you have a really great one from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
Next we have Miss Alana Ned Sutton. Happy birthday to you.
And this is Alana here again. Yes, Alana Ned Sutton here again. All the best from Tobago Updates. We've got Richard Soverall celebrating her birthday. Mr. Richard Soverall, love going out to you from Tobago Updates. We trust that you have a great one. Drinks, courtesy Richard? I don't know.
Next we have Emo Jordan, but this one is a belated birthday. So happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Emo Jordan. And I hope that it was a birthday well spent.
All right, and then we've got Zuri. Zuri Jack, 3 years old, celebrated her birthday on March the 5th. And Zuri's birthday greeting is going out from mom and dad, sister, uncles, grandma, sister, uncles, and grandma, all of Susulands. The entire clan is coming from Susulands, Tobago. So happy belated going out to you this morning, Zuri.
And we have Miss Debbie Rupchan celebrating her birthday, and this is coming from Julian and the family. So Miss Rupchan has a whole community behind her. Happy birthday to you.
Indeed, indeed. And then we've got
Miss Janice Phillips Bennett, a beautiful lady. Happy birthday to you, Miss Janice.
My friend out there. And this one is special. This is my Auntie Liz Elizabeth Richardson celebrating her birthday today. Auntie Liz, love going out to you from the entire Richardson family, Tobago, Trinidad, the US. We love you. God bless you. Good morning to you, Uncle Ray.
And here we have our former assemblyman, Mr. Handel Beckles, celebrating his birthday. Mr. Beckles, happy birthday to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
All right, and that's about it. I told you it was a really long list. But I guess later on in the month, we're going to be celebrating some more March birthdays. I see you getting all excited there, Mariska. I see you getting all excited there.
March is the best month of the year.
My goodness. And
Simply.
Julian would say, it's May. It's May, Ria George. It's May. Julian, good morning.
Julian has been mistaken. I'm just saying.
I'm going to leave it right there. But we're going to get on into what our program lineup looks like for you this morning, viewers. So we're going to start things off this morning chatting with Ms. Kizelle Jackson, former deputy political leader of the PDP. She's on the program this morning, Rising from the Ashes, and that's the focus this morning. As you know, viewers, it's International Women's Day coming up tomorrow, the 8th of March. But all week long, we will be celebrating women. This is our Women's Week. So we're going to be celebrating women. Women are on the lineup, women hosts. Again, we wish we had some women camera persons behind the scenes. This could have been a week for women producer as well. You never know. But we see how that goes.
Women in every field is necessary. It's necessary. Right. Representation matters.
Definitely. And who else do we have on the lineup this morning, Marissa?
This morning, we also have our pilots. We have Miss Tara Ernst and Veronica Leacock. We have these are pilots from American Airlines and United Airlines. American Airlines as well as United Airlines representing us this morning.
All right, so certainly a lot to look forward to on the program. And let's just check in with the live. You know, we have not checked in with the live in a little while, in a few days. So we want to connect with those of you joining us on M&E TV, Gael, Facebook, and YouTube this morning. So we are saying good morning this morning to Selma Lashley, Daylon George, Karine Stewart, Siobhan Joseph, Avril Allen, Helen Watson, good morning to Renee Thomas, good morning, Yana, good morning. We see some new faces on the live. Pearl Murray Baird, good morning to Lynelle Rowley, Rochelle Noir, good morning. And we've got some quite a few interesting, quite a few interesting comments coming in here already. A lot of persons seem to be on. They just want to hear Kizelle Jackson. They want to know more about Kizelle Jackson, and they want to concentrate more. They want to know what she has to say. So they're particularly interested in that interview this morning. Tobago Update, you all know why we are here. So don't keep us waiting with all this birthdays, with all this birthdaying. All right, thank you so much there, Crystal. All right. So we're gonna head on over to Tobago. Okay, and this is our guest here. This is Kizelle Jackson, former Deputy Political Leader of the PDP, rising from the ashes. She's gonna be on with us in just a short. Yes, we're not gonna keep you waiting too long, there, viewers. But before we head into that, we wanna head on over into Tobago in Focus.
Hopefully you've had your share of iguana, agouti and tattoo this season, as the hunting season is officially closed. Game Warden 1, Llewellyn Craig Roberts and Justa Allman reminded the public to return their permits and make the necessary preparations to comply.
What is expected as the hunting season is closed is that hunters who've been hunting during the open season had a permit to hunt is to return the permit as soon as possible, or the 31st of May of this year. Also, that they are not to hunt as the season is already closed.
Weapons and dogs must cease to be used immediately, as there is a hefty fine attached to those infractions.
Well, the fine is normally $100,000 for anyone caught hunting in the closed season, or they could have up to 6 months imprisonment. And anyone also caught with meat, because as it is now for the month of March, those hunters could have their meat, right, until the end of March. They have a whole month to dispose of their meat, whether by eating, selling, whatever.
After March 31st, if anyone is caught in possession of any wild meat, they can be charged or face up to 6 months imprisonment. Persons have been caught and taken to court in the past. The Department of Natural Resources and Fisheries urges persons to obey the hunting laws, as those animals need time to repopulate and grow. If necessary, reports can be made to Mr. Allman at 348-6511. Permits are to be returned in the office at Chauvin Road.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. Our guest at this time is Kizelle Jackson, former Deputy Political Leader of the PDP. And this morning, viewers, it is Rising from the Ashes. Kizelle Jackson, good morning and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Thank you very much. Good morning to Tobago Updates as well as your viewership.
Thank you. It's really good to have you on the program with us. I want to start this morning by asking the question, who is Kizelle Jackson? Now, all we know about Kizelle Jackson is what we've seen in the media, what we've seen on social media. Who is Kizelle Jackson?
I don't like the Hulkian Kizelle Jackson is, but I can give you a little bit of foundation of my backbone, what amounted to who I am now. I have been a lecturer at the UWI in psychology, sociology, and political science for more than 12 years. I also opened up my own secondary school, doing for really expats as well as the transition from Cape to Cambridge. I am an author, internationally renowned author in Amazon Prime. I also represented Trinidad as well as the wider Caribbean for travel and destination show known as Mira Travel Show. But more than ever, I am a humanitarian. I am a philanthropist. That, I think, is my greatest legacy to give back. Why do I give so much? Because my family was born out of poverty, which many do not know. My grandmother, having her origins right here in Tobago, we lived in a little board house with an outdoor toilet that's called a latrine. People see all the glitters and the fancy vehicle and the large house now and the luxury living, and they really do not know who I am and why I continue to champion the cause of the working class and the proletariat.
And that in a nutshell is
Kizelle Jackson, yes.
All right, now I want to get into to the meat of the matter here, and I think it was very important for viewers to understand who you are, where you came from. What was it initially that attracted you to the PDP? You now the former deputy political leader, but what made you? What drew you to the organization initially?
What I will say is very clear, because in Trinidad and Tobago, our government has cast shadow over democracy, and rather you see plutocracy. That is a government controlled by the wealthy, the bourgeois, the interests of the poor. They don't have a voice. They are voiceless. They are muzzled. There's not proper representation. There's a growing divide between the rich and the poor that we see in Trinidad. Many are crying out for just the basics. They are asking for what? Food, shelter, water. This should not be, especially a country like Trinidad that experienced more than 3 booms already. We have a heritage stabilization fund that during COVID was not well articulated to help the working class man. I recognize that I have been traveling all over helping others, helping many different countries, many different nations. And right home here, in my own country, when I came back to Trinidad, I recognized that the poor are suffering gravely. But you don't see that picture in the media. The media is plastered with a perception. Again, it is a hypodermic syringe, an image, an illusion of what really Trinidad and Tobago is. But when you begin to go down on the ground, my philanthropy and humanitarian work sent me back on the ground for me to see the reality. And that reality was grim. I remember sitting and having 2 senior officials in the PNM, and they would have told me that there's no chance that the PDP can win this election. I said to them, I am almost sure that they would. Let's go back a little bit. I remember sending Dr. Keith Rowley a WhatsApp message telling him that more is needed for the poor. At that time, he would have spent, I think, was over $500 million on light bulbs, rather than distributing money to the poor and the downtrodden during COVID.
Meeting them where their needs were.
Yes.
Okay.
I felt a sense of neglect. I felt a sense of abandonment. I said, Kizelle, what more can you do? We all sit and complain, the government isn't doing that, the government isn't doing this. But when we complain, no one listens. So I decided to put my foot in. I saw Watson Duke. I did not know him from before, I should tell you that. I saw Watson Duke as a man brave enough to champion the cause of the working class. I would have had some prior knowledge of his fights as a trade unionist, taking up a David and Goliath fight, I would say. I would have watched that maybe the PDP did not have all the resources. The treasury belonged to the government of the day. But the treasure, which is the heart of the people, Tobagonians themselves, they would have circumference, they would have engulfed, they would have shown heart, and they came out there by their ballot. And they exercised their democratic will in the most resounding way. That you saw the underdog, you saw the party with all odds against them rivaling such an election. I remember going to sleep hearing that it was 15, an all-out whitewash victory.
Right.
Then waking up, of course, you know, democracy have to be done and appear to be done. And then hearing 14-1, and I say, beautiful. Maybe this is it for Trinidad. It is a vehicle that maybe can carry us not just to Tobago, but national victory.
All right, so you decided to throw your hat in the ring, as you said, or put your foot in.
Definitely.
All right. You did that, and then we're hearing now that you have resigned. What was it? What went awry? What between your looking at the possibilities of the PDP and the possibilities for Trinidad? What happened along the way that caused your letter of resignation?
Many things happened, not just one. But let me start here. I am not one that when things go sour, I wish to debase the progressive democratic patriots. because it is still a very young party, a party in its embryonic stages. There is a lot of pruning that sometimes can take place and adjustments. However, the leadership of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, and when I say leadership, let me be more specific, the leader, the political leader, owner, and founder, as he vehemently loved to say, he has to make a successful transition from unionism into diplomacy. And I think it's that transition that he needs to adjust, he needs to realign his vision to see that I am no longer the rabble-rouser. I am no longer the erratic fighter that the people want in union, because it's always us against the government.
Right.
I am one that is vying for a public position of mayorship, and let's move forward, probably even position of becoming the next prime minister. So that will require a sometimes painful adjustment, because it's a personality that he would have engulfed for more than 12 years. So that transition, I would like to see not a tyrant, because a tyrant is one that leads to intimidate, but a leader is one that leads to inspire. Does it mean that all is gloom and doom? No, I would not say that. The political landscape of Trinidad and Tobago is not static, but rather dynamic. I would say that we have seen many different things happening in many different parties, but the Progressive Democratic Patriots, they are fighting in a political arena with seasoned politicians,
Right.
with political parties that have been well established, founded, and grounded. So in this transitional period, we would have things like this, and we would have adjustments. However, it is more a personality concern than a party concern.
More a personality concern than a party concern that
Indeed.
resulted in your letter of
Yes.
resignation.
Yes.
Now, you indicated that you saw hope in the PDP, but yet, make it make sense.
Okay, so now you have to follow the dots. Follow the dots where the personality, remember, party is led by a person.
Yes.
So the personality of the figurehead of the party will sometimes filter into the party. The way sometimes a person may handle personal differences may over like is a set and a subset in maths.
Right.
You have one circle, but you have another circle that overlaps the very first circle.
Right.
In the way he handled personal things, it was overlapping into party business. I am one that I would have preferred that he kept the personal business personal and the party business for the party. What was taking place prior to my resignation is that Mr. Duke I would have brought forward investors and well-wishers to this party. I did not come to the PDP with an empty hand and just well-wishing. I came to the Progressive Democratic Patriots wanting, and I did help finance, bring in an excess of $3 million to this particular party. I came with probably my know-how, my drive, to deliver something that I know Trinidad and Tobago needs. When we were sexually involved, which everybody knows, it is no secret, Mr. Duke and I had many ups and downs. One of them amounted to him calling business persons that I was in business with, asking them if I had sexual relations with them, even talking about my personal life with persons that he does not know. These are not friends of his. These are persons that I am in a corporate relationship with, and he began calling to speak about me in the most smutty and vulgar and debasing way, while I sit still as the deputy political leader of your party. So you are denigrating my name even in the political landscape. And that to me was paramount disrespect. How can I now sit and continue to follow your guidance? How can I now be honest with myself and Trinidad and Tobago and said, yes, I want you to continue to lead me? Because after your command, I am next in command. And I want to sit with authority and said that, yes, I believe in your leadership. I don't want a level of hypocrisy plastered with just, I don't even know what to say, plastered with a lot of lies. I don't want that. I want when I stand, regardless of what it is, I stand in my truth.
Now, initially, when Chief Farley Augustine and Dr. Faith B. Israel and other members of the Tobago executive of the PDP pulled or distanced themselves from the party, you sided with Mr. Duke.
Of course.
You sided with Mr.
Of
Duke.
course I did.
You had a lot to say about Chief Farley. Do you still stand on what you said then? Do you believe that at this point you should apologize to the chief?
No, I stand in my position. Let me explain why. Now, there's also what we call hierarchy. Now, sometimes when we begin to get emotional, we sometimes separate hierarchy from actuality. What was actually happening was that the chief sec was still a DPL. While being a DPL, I gave Mr. Watson Solomon Duke all respect, and he said so. I never in any way, while being his DPL, rescind his power. No, that should not and should never happen. Now, in the way Mr. Duke would have treated the matter behind private doors, I may have spoken to him or tell him that things can be handled differently. But in Trinidad space, I represent that face. When Tobago was beginning to crumble, I have to stand strong and give the political leader, which is still the leader of the party, that strength and support, because in Trinidad it would appear that all was falling down. Yes?
Okay. As well, there were allegations you made against the chief concerning his sexuality. At that point, when the chief and Dr. Faith and other members distanced themselves. And we saw quite recently where the rift, more than a rift between yourself and Mr. Duke, and there were allegations leveled against him as well concerning his sexuality.
What I will say, let me just take a pin in it. We live in a fruity society. Fruity, when I use the word fruity and research it, when I make, you said allegations, no, I asked the question. When I addressed the question to my brother Farley at that time, I would have said,
that's right, your brother
I would have
Farley.
said that these are some of the concerns that came to us. Not saying that you are or you aren't, because there is no litigation against me, because I do not make statements that I cannot back up. So I asked the question. Prior to that, what the viewers probably do not know, I was reaching out to both Chief Sec as well as the then Deputy Chief Sec for us to really keep it on a down low, for us to find a solution forward. I was here in Tobago time and time again in meetings with both personalities as well as members of executive, well-wishers and some advisors. So that spill that we eventually saw did not happen overnight.
Okay. And again, not allegations, but you were asking the questions.
Yes, I was.
Were there attitudes, behaviors, something that you saw that prompted the questions?
It was information that came to us in terms of what was happening in Tobago and why certain people were being favored. Now, remember, I also have certain business in Tobago as well.
Right.
And people were coming forward and voicing their concerns. Now, a concern is not a fact. We get information and it is not factual. I did not come and say that he is this way. So I think that for the purpose of discussion, it is a miss of me. Let us disseminate and move forward. Yeah.
All right. But question here, why put it in the minds of the persons? Because you indicated earlier on, you spoke about personality and what did you say? Politics with regards to Mr. Duke. But why put the thought in the minds of the people? Did you stray away from the politics to get into the personality, the personal aspects of the politics?
Let me explain why. Now, everything is relative based on where you sit and how you see. Put it in the mind, you already give a connotation that it is negative. Homosexuality,
I mean, if the person is not.
Just now, homosexuality is not something that should be looked down upon. I have relatives who are gay, lesbians, homosexual. Actually, my dance instructor, to whom I was most comfortable with, he was gay. And I was most comfortable because I was abused as a child, and I know he did not want me. I was safe with him. So when we say, why put it out there as though we still in 2023 have these negative imaging, these negative labels, these negative stereotypes, there are many sexual orientation. People choose to be bisexual, trisexual, homosexual, heterosexual. There are new terms coming as the days go by.
Yes.
So I wouldn't put anything in a negative box and say that this is all negative. If you are not that, you stand in your truth.
Okay, I'm just saying here, if a person is not, if an individual is not, why put in the minds of persons that they are if they're not? But fine, we'll move on from there. A question coming in from a viewer on the to the show this morning. How long have you known and financially assisted Mr. Duke during the THA election period?
No, this was right after the THA in December. Yeah, right after the THA elections.
That you became a financier.
I became a financier. I became actively involved. And then later on, I was announced as an interim deputy political leader.
Have you assisted Watson to obtain financing during the THA period?
No. I did not.
Okay. All right. Now, this is International Women's Day tomorrow, but this is Women's Week. In the minds of a lot of women out there, Giselle Jackson, you represent, unfortunately now, because of all that has been out there, put out there on social media about you, you represent all the women who have intervened in their marriages. You represent all the women who have been that third party resulting in a separation or divorce. How do you then, I mean, you look lovely this morning, but how then do you sit? How then do you, you're here, Women's Week. What is the message that you have for women out there who see you as an ex, who see you as a no-no, who see you as that third party in every relationship?
Yeah. So that is the anger, the hurt, the psychological displacement that you will get. Because I have sat in that seat at one point in time. At one point in time, I was that faithful wife. I've been married twice. Huh? My life is a soap opera, yes. I have sat as a married wife, very faithful. At that time, I was Jehovah's Witness. My husband was unfaithful with several women. So I understand that public lash I would get. I understand those stones that will be thrown at me, and I accept it. I accept it because I once sat in that position. Had you asked me probably 2 years ago if I would have ever been an adulterous woman, if I would have ever slept with somebody else's husband, I would have blatantly watched you and tell you no. So to get the emotions coming out of these women, sometimes I may represent a woman that they probably have some repressed feelings for, maybe that they are probably still going through this situation, because sometimes knowing better is not always doing better. And what I would like to say for the others, salvation is for the sinners. We all fall.
Say it one more time,
Giselle Salvation is for the sinner. We all fall. Today you may be standing, and tomorrow you may be lying. Lying in what? Lying in a form of moral debauchery, in a situation where it is a form of cognitive dissonance. Your attitude and behavior is not aligned. But if you reach to it, God can take you through it. And it takes courage. It takes resilience to stand in the face of all the negatives and use the negative. Let it be a platform for something good. When the mess is thrown at you and you know you are accountable for it, take ownership of your actions and then become better. So my message to myself was, Giselle, don't be bitter. You did it already. And you know what? My God came for the prostitute. If you were to select that prostitute, you would have never selected her. My God came for the thief. If you were to select the thief, you would have never selected her. My God came for the murderer. Do you remember who David was? So in judging people, sometimes we need to look in the mirror and really see where we have fallen short as an individual and not judge from a standoffish approach. Because when I point a finger at you, I'm not pointing one. And people say one, but it's two. It's my index and it's also my thumb, but three more is pointing back at me. So before I go to pelt stones at you, let me do some introspection into my personal life and see how I may have fallen and give people a chance. Forgiveness is very important. I too have to first forgive myself, because I would have not only let down the wider society, but there's home, my children. I am a mother.
How has this affected your family? Have they been affected at all?
Of course they would be.
How has it affected them?
It is, you have to understand how they look at me. And I'm a very candid person. My children knew of Watson Duke. They knew. And I mentioned to them that I don't hide my flaws. I don't hide my wrongs. I told them that I would have been preaching. I would have been a publisher as a Jehovah's Witness formerly years ago, talking about adultery, telling women who are living in sometimes promiscuous relationship, or who are even fornicating. Because sometimes you only look at adultery. Is there big sin and small sin? What about those women who are sleeping with a man that you're not married with? That is also sin. So are you saying that there are big sin and little sin in God's eye? So I told them, I said, my actions in no way, it is morally right. I said, but we fall. We are humans. We have stain, but there's no excuse. We get up and we propel ourselves. We push ourselves to do better.
What have you learned from this entire scenario? What's the lesson for you and for other women?
I have learned many lessons. And what stands out to me is that sometimes we leave God, but God does not leave us. And in the darkest moments, even though night may seem long, the sun will shine again. Morning will come. And every negative, even coming here, I am in a space where, of course, I know you'll bring up that with the chief sec. I'm in a space where women would probably want to victimize, slander, but I stand in that. I own it. I embrace it, because that too will make me who I am and who I will become. It will make me a more formidable woman. It will make me a stronger person, that one day I may have a story, or even right now, that may motivate someone that is drenched in a form of moral debauchery, that is drenched in a relationship that maybe they're trying to get out of. And it may not only be gender bias, it could also be a man that is doing things that he knows literally is wrong, but may not have the courage to stop. And this is me encouraging you and say, it wouldn't get all good immediately. But if we keep moving forward, even if it's one step at a time, we are going in the right direction. In life, you have spring tide, you have high tide, but you also have neap tide, and then you have low tide. Be able to embrace all tides, because the ocean will continue. Yeah.
All right. How does you being here in Tobago benefit Tobago? And the thing is, the question is, when we put out the flyer yesterday that Kizelle Jackson was going to be on Tobago Updates, the comments, I'm sure you saw some of them on social media.
No, I don't. I don't read. I don't read those comments. I'm very careful with my mind. My mind is like a strain. I sift what goes in, and I try to protect myself from what come out as well.
Okay.
But what I will tell you, it is not, why am I here? This program, like it or not, there's somebody that is sitting down right now that is motivated. There's somebody right now that is downtrodden. There's somebody right now that feel like giving up. There's someone right now who feel like all the odds are against him or against her. There's someone right now that is watching this Facebook Live and will get that motivation, despite whatever negative that is coming his or her way, to stand again, to rise again. Somebody right now may be going through things with family, with friends, in the workplace, where all odds are against you, where you almost feel defeated and broken. But I am standing, and I say to you, you can stand again. And if it is just for that person, then my journey here, my flight here this morning was well worth it.
All right. I want to ask you here, what is next for Kizelle Jackson? And again, the topic is rising from the ashes. Would you agree that you were in the ashes, or you've been in the ashes over the last few months? How then do you rise? What is next for you politically? I want to ask personally here, but what is next for Kizelle Jackson?
What I will say is that if you ask me if I'm rising from the ashes, I will tell you yes. I had to pick up my casket, but I am not taking along with me the curse. In terms of politics, I am not one to talk about moral absolutism, to say I will never do this and I will never do that, because we do not know what tomorrow will bring. But in my political fight for my people, I will continue if it is God's will. And I have been on the ground before politics. Before politics, I'm known in Trinidad as a humanitarian, going out to villages and helping people. I am known for that. After politics, I continue. I'm on the ground in Trinidad. I'm fighting. You all probably would have seen what is taking place on the news with HGC and some of the residents there. I have been there fighting for their cause, supporting single mothers and matriarchal homes, trying to see how best I could alleviate some of the turmoils of this transition. So I will continue to fight for the oppressed. This is who I am, and this is my call.
I need to ask you here, do you have any regrets about this scenario? Do you have any regrets about involving yourself with the PDP, meeting Mr. Duke? Do you have any regrets over this entire scenario?
What I would say, you know, when things are good, we embrace the good. But when things are bad, one must learn to embrace the bad. Because collectively, all your experiences in life make you who you are today. The good experiences and the bad experiences. So I would not change and say, well, I wish I could erase the bad experiences. If I were to say, I wish I could erase probably the smutty comments that Mr. Duke would have made. I wish I could erase probably the vulgarization, the villain, I was villainized, I was criminalized. I wish I could erase some of those things, but I cannot. So now I embrace all of it. I listen to the label, but I don't accept it.
All right. Now, you said earlier that you do not believe that you owed Chief Fali an apology. Is there anyone that you'd like to apologize to this morning?
Yes, of course. I would like to apologize to all young women who are looking on at this program this morning. I would like to apologize to all girls this morning and tell you, young woman, know your worth and keep on striving. Despite the fact that you are human, you will fall, you will err. But my sister, get up, stand up, carry your shoulders back, and keep on fighting.
All right. And very quickly here, we'd like to get from you. I think we dealt with a lot of our matters here, but tell us about some of what you've been involved in as well in Trinidad. You've been doing some work on the ground as you continue to push forward. Is there a hope for politics, continued politics for Kizell Jackson in the future?
Kizell Jackson, every ending is another beginning. So I will say that this end is another beginning for me as well. The political landscape, it has not come to an end. I would continue to pursue politics. I will continue to represent my people. What is my political direction? I leave that in the hands of God.
Right. But what about the work you've been doing on the ground? Tell us what you've been up to in Trinidad.
Recently, well, just last night, I was in Beetham Gardens. This is one of the downtrodden community, the oppressed community, the voiceless community in Trinidad. And I went out there because the mothers and the older heads, they were calling out to me and say, Kizell, we understand what happened, but we forgive you and we stand by you. I went out there to motivate and speak with the young ones because when people think about role model, they think about this hypocritical idealism of a perfect image. We are not perfect people. We are imperfect people, but imperfect people with a perfect heart can do better. And the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is just that person who wished to do extra.
Right. One final question. When asked earlier concerning apologies, you do not believe that you owe Chief Ali an apology. We didn't hear an apology to Mr. Duke. If you felt that you didn't, so be it. But do you believe that you owe Mrs. Duke?
Well, then you are saying that maybe you weren't on my page, because on my page, I made a public apology, not only to her, but also to her children. And that, to me, was necessary. It was right, even if Mrs. Duke, because Mr. Duke said it, that she accepts who he is, and this is not the first time he's having a woman and woman and relationship. Maybe she accepts polygamy. My actions, I must own. And humility is very important. You know, there's a scripture that say if there's something between you and your brother, put down your sacrifice and go and make peace with your brother before your sacrifice is accepted. I do not condone my actions, and I am not saying it is right. I went on my media platform and I made a public apology, both to his wife and children, as well as mine. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much there, Kizelle Jackson. I want to thank you for being on the program with us this morning. I know you've been making someone said your rounds with regards the press, the media. You were on several stations yesterday and today with us here on Tobago Updates, and I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us.
You're most welcome.
And I will tell you, viewers, that I did ask Ms. Jackson before the interview, you know, what was off the limits? What question? Were there any questions? Was there any issue off the limits or off the table? And she said, bring it, come with it. She's an open book. All right, so there was certainly no fear on either part. So I want to thank you again for
You're most welcome, my lady.
All right, so we remain friends, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, viewers. We got lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates morning show. I want to thank all 688 persons who are on the live with us this morning. We want to thank all of you. Your questions and your comments. Sorry we can't get to all of them. Someone said, Ria, no more questions, please. Nana, please cue the music and the ads. All right, we're going to leave it there. So thank you again. Lots more coming up. So share the live, share the live, share the live. Even as we head on over to Tara Ernest and Veronica Leacock as we focus on digital innovation and technology for gender equality, which is the theme for International Women's Day 2023. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
October will never be better. With Tobago, carnival fever. Oh, can't pass the occasion, come on over.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
This is it.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go. Come let we go. Come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Come let we go. Come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Find your soul in sweet Tobago. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Welcome back, viewers. In relation to our celebration of International Women's Day, and by further, International Women's Week with Tobago updates, we are going to highlight women in fields that tend to be mostly dominated by men. And this morning, our focus will be women in the piloting industry. This morning, we have with us, representing the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, we have Mrs. Veronica Leacock Borchard, who is an aircraft mechanic with United Airlines. And we also have Ms. Tara Ernst. She is a Boeing 737 officer with American Airlines. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Nice to have you all here. So can you all tell us, either one, can you all tell us about the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals? What do you all do?
So the Organization of Black Aerospace Professional is a nonprofit organization where we focus on getting the minority, the Black minority, into the aviation industry. So we do that by providing mentorship and scholarship and just guidance. We're also going out there doing outreach events just to expose the children and show them, or expose the community and show them that this is a field that they can be a part of.
All right. And I know you all focus more on the Caribbean as well as the African diaspora. From you all having interactions with these individuals, have you seen a vast increase in the amount of persons who are applying to be pilots or in the industry?
100% think so, because as each one of us goes out there that has gone through the journey, and we encounter a lot of people in our past. So when they see us, then they're like, how did you get there? So now they're more interested in getting there themselves. So we're now in a phase where we're seeing a lot of full circle stories from people that started at different careers and they came through the program, through the organization, and they're now in positions where they're now helping, giving back. Right? So
I think that's 100%. So what we do at OBAB is trying to encourage kids, right? Representation matters. When you see somebody that is like you, that talks like you, that looks like you, it's important, right? So we provide those examples to kids. You know, you see my friend here, Tara, which is a big example for women in the pilot industry. Then you see somebody from me that comes from aircraft maintenance. That it is actually an industry that's a lot more underrepresented when it comes to women's, when it comes to percentages. In pilots, we're in the double digits. In aircraft maintenance, we're still in the single digits when it comes to percentages. We have a long way to go. But when you see somebody like me, that her language is not English, first language is not English, not from the United States, then you say, oh, I can do that, right? So I think that's the message we're trying to well, we pass to kids to encourage them to make sure that they can dream.
All right, that's very nice. And from the numbers of persons applying, seeing as we are now celebrating International Women's Day, have you all tell me of the amount applying? How many would you estimate are women?
So I will speak about aircraft maintenance, and then she can give you a better scoop when it comes to pilots. But I mean, if you think about it, when we talk about aircraft maintenance in the United States, about 6.4% of women are certified aircraft technicians. 6.4%. That will leave a percentage of 94% of aircraft mechanics are males. We have a long way to go there when it comes to that. And that number hasn't changed a lot from 1971 to 2022. And it's mainly because, one, we did a poor job to promote aircraft maintenance. And then the second is when you think about an aircraft mechanic, an aircraft technician, you think about a very physical job. And in terms of women's, we have motherhood, we have kids, right? And you say, I'm pregnant, how I'm going to be changing tires, how I'm going to be changing engines. And then the thought is that women were not good at math, we're not good at physics, we're not good at science, right? And that's some basic skills that you will need to go to school into aircraft maintenance that can be learned. But if you don't give them that exposure early, then in their mind is, well, we can't do that, right? And then it becomes, you see more male, more male, more male. You say, well, that's not meant for women. So I'd say the percentage is very slow. We're making progress. I see in the last 5 years we have made progress, but not at the rate that we want to see when it comes to, for example, pilots, which is growing at a rate that's a lot more than we see in the last 10 years.
Not significant.
Yeah, it's definitely very similar. So for us in the piloting world, for women, the percentage is 6%. And when we talk about Black individuals, the percentage is 4%. Now you put both together, a Black woman, it's less than 1%. So one of the statistics I like to share, like you are actually more likely to get struck by lightning than to be flown by a Black female captain.
Wow.
So I'm part of an organization called Sisters of the Skies, which is kind of it's a sister organization to OBAP. And that organization itself focuses more on females, Black females, and getting that exposed. When I started with the organization, as far as commercial pilots, Black female pilots in the United States, we used to say 1 in 150, less than 150 of us. That was in 2019. That's the number we used to use. Now we use the number less than 200 of us. So the number is increasing, and we have a big pool of mentees now that we're working with and guiding to get their licenses and keep increasing that number. So when we look at our mentee pool, the numbers are increasing, but we still face a lot of hurdles. A lot of it stems from financing careers in aviation. They're not the easiest careers to finance, so that's what we focus on as far as helping them with scholarships and whatnot to get them there. So I'm very hopeful about what the future holds for us as women, as minorities in the industry, where there's people like Veronica and myself, where we're doing the work to expose that the career out there, and I think we're seeing some results.
All right. So in keeping with this year's theme, because you do this every year and you will choose different countries that you will want to go to. In keeping with this year's theme, Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, with your presence in Tobago, what have you all decided to do to create that gender equality that you all speak of?
So the first thing we did, well, thanks to all our friends of We Were Once of Them, is to go to different schools, right? So when we go to different schools, you can see, and this was actually something very interesting that happened yesterday, because one of the kids was, I've never seen a Black female pilot. And you don't think about it for a second, right? Because, you know, we travel all the time. For us, sometimes it's different seeing other people. But if you think about it, that kid has never traveled. And what he knows is here in the island. To see a person like Tara or like our friends from we were some of them come from Africa, Kenya, Cameroon, Jamaica. People like look like them. It's a big, big thing because they are like, oh, we can be that, right? And for the representation, so representation is important. And then we got the little girls like, oh, you can fly a plane, or you're aircraft mechanic. So our contribution to Tobago is, well, first of all, thank you for welcoming us, right? Your eyes open. And then second is to show the kids they can do anything. And like she was saying, aviation is costly. I mean, a lot of parents will be like, well, we can't afford it yet. And like one of our friends said yesterday, be careful how you articulate those things to your kid, because we'll figure it out how we pay for school if that's what you want to do.
Right.
We'll make it happen. And I think that's very important when we talk about Latin Americans and Caribbean communities.
Words have power.
Yeah.
Words have power.
Exactly. So we can do it, and we'll show you that the dream is possible as long as you work hard. That's the key. Work hard.
And can you tell our viewers, you being an aircraft mechanic and you being a pilot, tell us something that's like the best part of your job? Because a lot of people might say, they may see that, oh my gosh, we have to spend plenty of money, we have to spend a lot of time. But at least give our viewers a little insight as to what you will do, apart from the basic mechanic or just fly planes. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, the journey can be strenuous, but honestly, I cannot imagine or envision myself in any other industry. I have the opportunity to fly around the world and be exposed to different cultures, different foods I love to eat.
Same here, same here.
And you get to learn. You realize as you start flying, you realize how big the world is and how where you come from is not what you're limited to. You get to learn about other people's history and just how they get to do things. So it's just, it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling just to go out in the world and just see what it's all about.
I think for me, when I started as an aircraft mechanic, I was very happy to fix an airplane. And just in the morning, if you work at aircraft at night, and then in the morning when the aircraft leaves and somebody is traveling because you fixed the airplane, it's a very rewarding moment. Now, in the second part of my career, I can say that the most rewarding part is, well, two. One is giving back to the communities, the countries, the kids, meeting outstanding professionals, and traveling. Like when you travel, it expands your horizons.
Right.
It really does it. And you don't think about those things when you're little, and it seems like, oh, it's just traveling. But now I understand your culture. I understand try to understand what barriers you have and how can we help to make this world better.
Right.
That's the best.
So to any child who may be tuning in, or to a parent who has a child who is interested in doing piloting or entering into the piloting industry, what piece of advice do you have to give them?
You're the pilot.
To anybody that's interested, the very first thing, what I always say is to ask questions. Ask the right questions. So you're wondering, okay, what is the next step? The first thing, if you want to become a pilot, is to take a discovery flight. So you'll go to your airport, find a flight instructor, and just ask them to take you up. And in that way, you can actually feel for yourself if that's something you're interested in. The next thing I would say is to find a network and a support system. So when we talk about organizations like OBAP or Sisters of the Skies, go on Google and look for these organizations. Or even we were one of them that were here and we're providing these opportunities. Like, take your kids or invite us to come talk to your kids. And we would love to do it, you know? So it's just a matter of having guidance or seeking guidance rather. So I encourage everybody that's that wants to get into aviation just to seek the proper guidance, and it's out there. Just
To be a mechanic, I can say that. To be a pilot, I don't fly, so that's different. But I mean, to be a mechanic, I think the first thing is let's start with the basics, right? We gotta start with high school, right? That's a big problem in Latin America. In some parts of the Caribbean, kids do not finish high school, so that is a big thing. The first thing is high school. Then to go to aircraft mechanic school, it's usually a 2-year school in most places, a year and a half or two. And then you are going to have a license. That's in every country. Panama has a license. I'm sure Trinidad and Tobago has a license.
Right.
Something with the United States. And then from there, it's just be willing to learn, right? Like aircraft technology changes by the minute. And when I went to school, I decided to go to school because I said, only 2 years, good.
Short enough.
Sure enough, right? But little did I know that I was going to be a student for my entire life. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then the second is to understand that the journey, no matter what you are, pilot, technician, is sometimes very hard. You know, and you got to be very disciplined. You have to be 100% disciplined and committed to what you're going to do, regardless of what path you choose. That's what I would say to the kids. The best thing is discipline. We talk about discipline sometimes in the terms of the teacher put me in the corner, my parents don't let me go out. We got discipline like it's something wrong, but actually discipline is what drives you through life. It's a good thing to have discipline, and it doesn't come in the terms of punishment.
It's something to assist you
Exactly.
in where you need to get to.
Yeah.
So can you all tell me, if persons want additional information, tell me where they can go to get this information, or if they want to ask you all questions, where can they get these additional information?
Yeah, so in We Were Once Them, we Were Once Them, we have a page. So right now it's We Were Once Them, .wordpress.com, that is the website.
WordPress.com?
Yes.
Okay.
We're working on that domain, so to get it .org.
All right.
So that's the first website where we can start. We also have an Instagram page. We have a LinkedIn page, and also I think we have a Facebook page as well. And it's called We Were Once Them. And then when it comes to studying, right, that's different. I'm sure Tobago have their own websites where you can go and study about scholarships and things like that. But at the level of the organization where we came from, those are the ways that you can reach us.
All right.
And for the organization, OBAP and Sisters of the Sky, so for OBAP, the website is just obap.org. And for Sisters of the Skies, it's sistersoftheskies.org. We're also on all social media platforms. We're working on TikTok. Not quite there yet, but Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, that's all live and running, and we share a lot of information that way about our outreach events and how you can be a part of that, or even our scholarships and how you can apply and whatnot. So all the information is on our website, but a lot of the information is disseminated via social media.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here. I think a lesson that we can take from what these ladies have told us is that if you can perceive it, you can achieve it. Don't let the opportunities pass you by, as the opportunities are here and there are people willing to assist you every step of the way. So just again, for anybody who may have missed it, if you want to get into contact with these ladies or to find additional information, you can go to We Were Once Them, WordPress.com, or you can go to their Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn pages. You can also go to obap.org as well as sistersofthesky.org to find more information. Also check their Instagram, Facebook, as well as Sisters of the Skies. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Welcome to Le Cash Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Viewers, welcome back. Welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. And we've certainly had quite an enjoyable morning with you. And we want to thank all of you this morning for joining us. Let me just fix this back there. There we go. There we go. I think it's a little bit better now. You know, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. But Mariska, enjoyable morning.
Yes, it has been. I loved our topics this morning.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. And I love that.
And that's what Tobago Updates is all about, bringing the information to the people, bringing out what, the questions, asking questions that the public wants to ask and the questions that they need to have the answers to. But of course, they do not sit where we sit, so we have got to be able to think for them, answer questions for them, and get the relevant responses. So again, International Women's Week this week. We've got all-female hosts, all-female guests coming up for the rest of the week as well. And tomorrow we've got the youth show coming up, the youth program on tomorrow with Kaylee and some other beautiful ladies. So you're going to be expecting that. And we want to let you know as well, for those of you who do not know, that there are colors associated with International Women's Day for 2023. And the colors are purple, green, and white. Purple, green, and white. So we're looking to see all those women out tomorrow in their purple, green, and white. Well, those are the official colors for International Women's Day. And just a reminder that the focus this year for 2023, the theme is on digital, innovation, and technology for gender equality. So we just want to remind you of that this morning. And your guest certainly spoke to that.
Yes, most definitely. I loved the way that they came down here. They chose, Trinidad and Tobago, and chose to influence us and show our little children that they can do what they see.
Particularly our daughters.
Daughters, most definitely. Even though it's a male-dominated field, being a pilot or being in the industry, these children, they have seen these individuals. These individuals are representations of what they can be. So instead of it just being a dream, it can become a reality. And I love that.
Amen. I think that's a good place to say amen. All right. But we're going to leave things now because we've got Candace coming up. Viewers, we've got GMT coming up. And I tell you, we've got some interesting guests on the program this morning for GMT. So we want to encourage you to stay where you are. And remember, wherever you are going, you can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. For those of you who are on the roads, probably trying to get to work. I know some of you are getting there late. Don't blame Tobago Updates. Do not blame Tobago Updates. You're getting to work late. But we want to thank you for being with us this morning. Have a really great day. Stay safe. And we will see you Yeah, we've got GMT coming up. We go back to GMT with Candace. Have a great day, Tobago. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tonight in the THA Pan Champs, we have 14 dynamic bands. We have 2 bands in the single pan category, 7 bands in the small conventional band category, and 5 large conventional bands. Finally, tonight, I would like to wish these bands best of luck, and I hope that they are able to bring pan lovers and supporters sweet melodious music.
Take it from me, Fali Chavez Agustin, Chief Secretary, that the fact that stones are being pelted is a good sign that the pan fraternity in Tobago is not just doing well, but bearing excellent fruit that is desired by all. Congratulations to all of you. Good luck to all the bands this evening, and we look forward to keen, healthy competition.
Was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60
Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The Ministry of Works and Transport proposed a plan to extend the Scarborough Jetty, but the Division of Infrastructure Quarries and Urban Development claimed the THA was not consulted. According to a press release, the division said the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, was invited to a focus group consultation regarding the extension of the jetty by NIDCO. It was the first time they were presented with plans and information regarding the 88-meter extension. They claim that the government is encroaching on the THA's responsibilities and urged them to resist further temptations to do so. Meanwhile, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine led a contingent to Berlin in Germany for the ITB trade show. Accompanying him was Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tashia Paris, and the Executive Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, Alicia Edwards, and other tourism stakeholders. They hope to strengthen alliances with the German and Scandinavian markets and secure additional airlifts to destination Tobago. While Augustine is away, Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel will serve in his absence. And nationally, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, withdrew the decades-old corruption case against former Prime Minister Basio Pandey, his wife Omar, former Minister Carlos John, and businessman Ishwar Gabaran Singh. The Pandays and others were charged with corruptly receiving money concerning the Piarco Airport Extension project. On June 29, Gaspard ruled that a joint trial of allegations in Piarco 1 and those arising from similar matters were desirable. 2 days later, the Privy Council held that a complaint by the accused of apparent bias against the then Chief Magistrate Sherman McNichols was sufficient to strike down their commitment to stand trial. Gaspard explained that his decision was based on the low probability of his office securing convictions in this case. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Well, viewers, now we are moving on into some conversations more focused on, International Women's Day and so on. And then, of course, what better way to especially get our young people involved than hosting an International Women's Day debate. And this is being hosted by the Assembly Legislature. And to just give us some perspective on it, we have Ms. Sophia Cooper. Good morning and welcome to you. How are you?
Good morning, and of course, welcome to your viewers. Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell me a little bit about the International Women's Day debate that is being planned.
International Women's Day debate, we actually started this last year, and we thought it was such a good way to get women involved in conversations that we can then project to the general public. So it's tomorrow at the Assembly Legislature Chamber on Jerningham Street at 1:30 p.m. And we're inviting members of the public to join us in person. There's a public gallery that's open to everyone, or join us online, on television for the broadcast. Now, why do we want to have an International Day debate? It's important for us to have conversations about our democracy at every single level. And so the Assembly Legislature thought launching something called the People's House would be the perfect vehicle to do that. Now, the idea is that, of course, we have the Westminster system of government. Every 5 years, we vote in national elections. Every 4 years, the THA elections. But what about people who have important ideas, suggestions, solutions that they would like to put forward? The People's House is an opportunity for members of the public to participate in our democracy. And so we're launching the People's House on International Women's Day this Wednesday.
Great. So is there any theme for this year's debate?
Yes. So you know that the international theme for International Women's Day is digital, innovation and technology for gender equality. And that's a very interesting topic, because what we found is those persons who are going to be participants in tomorrow's debate, you kind of have to juggle with the idea, well, if it's digital and we all have access to the same portals, then how is gender equality an issue? And so what we look at are the actual numbers. So we know internationally, when we look at artificial intelligence careers, only 22% are women. When we look at 133 of those AI systems across the world, 44% of women experience gender bias. And the numbers go up. When it comes to journalists, their online work, 73% of them experience online violence. So there is this space that we probably have to explore in more detail about what happens when women participate in the technology and innovation space, whether it's online, at work, for NGOs, etc. And to stick a point right there, we wanted to have a cross-section of participants. So we asked the members of the assembly to choose a woman from their constituency to represent that area. But we also asked NGOs to also choose a representative. So here we have a conversation with people not only representing their area, but also representing interest groups. And they too have a very important part to play in how gender equality plays out.
Certainly. So how many people are we speaking about that will be given presentations tomorrow?
So we're aiming to have about 10 participants presenting. Now the House can hold about 19 and all those seats will be filled. And we expect that the public gallery as well will be filled after today because we're encouraging the public to join us at 130 Gillingham Street at the Assembly Chamber. So yes, we have debaters who will be coming from various constituencies, and we have debaters who are representing NGOs in Tobago.
All right, great. And I mean, earlier you also touched on that. And I think, I mean, of course, I'm a little bit biased here because that idea of, you know, journalists, female journalists facing that online criticism. And, you know, like earlier on the morning show, we dealt with someone that faced quite a lot of online, still is facing, not sure right now, is very facing some online criticism and whatnot for her decisions. You know, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about, I mean, if you're willing, you know, that idea that it seems as though women in general, we get blasted a lot more than men do when it comes to social media and online platforms.
You know, I like that is the direction in which you just took the conversation. I think it's difficult for people to see that is in fact true. And that's why I went straight to the statistics. So we see that in 125 countries, 73% of women who are journalists experience online violence. This is not just Sophia saying this.
Yes.
And this is not just Candace saying this.
And I mean,
this is the United Nations saying this.
And I think any female journalist would tell you that we've all faced some sort of, you know, pushback and stuff like that. So we've had the negative stuff thrown at us way more freely than you would see thrown at men.
Right. And you know, we had conversations with male counterparts about this particular topic because sometimes people tell you, but there isn't. I'm not seeing it. Is it true? Yeah, the UN says 73%, but that's probably not correct. The thing is, it is. And sometimes not being in the situation as a woman, you don't see it. So now we have to have a deeper conversation. And so when we talk about gender equality, we can't talk about gender equality without men. And so when we talk about having the debate tomorrow, we did in fact speak with men in our office about what this topic means. And it was interesting to see their take on it. And so there was a little back and forth and our own internal debate about what, you know, what the topic really means and from a man's point of view versus a woman's point of view. And that's what we need. When we talk about democracy, we're talking about people having a say in the solutions that apply to their life. And so tomorrow's debate is extremely, extremely important as we launch the People's House. So it's not just International Women's Day. We're talking about providing an avenue throughout the year for people to participate in their democracy.
So are we going to see as days like this, you know, because we have a lot of days that turn our attention to various causes and various issues within our society that we need to pay attention to. Now, are we going to see more of these debates happening for those days or you know, teams and stuff like that? Yeah?
Definitely. Now, the idea is to have everybody participate in some way. So, you know, sometimes we have a debate and people participate by commenting online, and that's perfectly fine. We read all the comments. Yes, we read them all. Now, in addition to that, we want to hear people talk about what their issues are. And the Assembly Legislature has something called petitions. Petitions is a way to solicit concerns from members of the public. So you could send in, you know, an idea for a motion. And then that motion gets support from other members of the public. Let's say you put it on, you send it to us through a petition, and we get maybe 5,000 persons supporting that particular topic. And so we can then create the space for that debate to take place. We're talking about fisher folk, youth, we're talking about teachers, creatives, anybody that you could think about. We want to be able to give them that space to have that debate. Now, people might be saying, oh, it's just a debate, you come and you talk, etc. But remember, every debate that we have at the Assembly Legislature is recorded in our Hansard. And our library, which is the Members Library and Information Center, is a special library under NALIS. And it's the only place in the country that has the Hansard records for the Tobago House of Assembly. It means that every single word you utter, every single word, is recorded in our Hansard. It means that 100 years from now, people can look back and say, but wait, we were supposed to do this. Why didn't it happen? Or next week from now, people would say, but okay, this is the proof that people actually agreed that this is the solution. So what we're doing about it. There's accountability, transparency, participation, and it's all about our democracy.
Has any member of the public ever participated in that public motion?
It's something that we want to encourage people to do. And we've had people in the past who've come to us and said, you know what, we should have a motion on this particular topic or that particular topic. But the system has to be robust enough to take that idea on. So that's what we're doing right now. We're creating a digital platform to encourage people to use petitions, and then we create motions for them to have debates. And yes, we're talking about the theme digital, yes, digital innovation and technology for gender equality. So there you have it.
Right, and of course, certainly the system can't work without the people making it work.
Exactly. And participatory democracy is a term that we use from time to time, which simply means having people participate in their democracy. Don't wait for the next 4 years, 5 years to say
and don't
something.
just comment online.
There you go.
Don't just comment online, people. Be a part of the decision-making process.
That's right.
All right. So give us the details as to when and where, what time is it taking place tomorrow?
The International Women's Day debate, hosted by the Assembly Legislature, takes place tomorrow. That's Wednesday, the 8th of March, 2023, at 1:30 p.m. at the Assembly Legislature Chamber, as I said, Jerningham Street, Uptown, and everyone is invited to attend. We have a public gallery waiting just for you, and there is a cocktail right after for us to socialize and really engage one another on the topics that we're facing today.
And is it open only to women, or?
Of course not.
Okay, men are encouraged to come as well.
Definitely.
All right, great. So viewers, there you have it. I mean, it's a wonderful topic, you know, just exploring, you know, women and how we mix with the digital world, where is the equity and so on. It's a lot of very pertinent topics. And we're looking forward to hear from our people, you know, just some of the members of our public just coming out and saying their piece. Their voices need to be heard too.
Definitely so.
Thank you so much, Sophia, for being on with us, and we're looking forward to it tomorrow at 1:30. All right, viewers, well, that's how we end in this segment, but don't go anywhere because we have a lot more coming up for you on the program.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hail me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, yes, as we continue to celebrate our women and continue to, just embrace who we are, one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is to keep ourselves healthy and to get outside and exercise and, just take on the outdoors. There's something great that comes with that. But to speak to us about a wonderful initiative that us women can get involved with, not just, of course, the women, but men as well. But we have on with us Miss Elisa James, and she is a committee member of the Main Ridge Fitness Challenge. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning.
First of all, tell me, what is the Main Ridge Fitness Challenge?
Okay, so the Tobago Main Ridge Fitness Challenge is a celebration of the International Day of Forests, which is on March the 21st, as well as 247-year anniversary of the Main Ridge Reserve. Right? So in a way of heightening the awareness of the Main Ridge Reserve, we said that we would do a run from the Sid Gray Stadium all the way to the Bloody Bay Beach facility.
All right. And so when is this happening?
All right, so this is happening on the 30th of March, Thursday the 30th of March, 6 a.m.
right? So there are two different routes, the 15K and the 5K route, right? Which would start from the Sigray Stadium to the Bloody Beach facility, which is the 15K, and the 5K will start at the Main Ridge Lookout to the Bloody Bay Beach facility.
What inspired this Main Ridge Fitness Challenge?
All right, so let me backtrack a bit history of the event. So in 2019, our dear secretary, which is Natisha Charles Panton, at the time she was a forest management officer for about 17 years, right? So in 2019, this idea came out that we need to incorporate forest, health, environments all together. And a best way of us just reaching our locals, regionals, and international persons is this Main Ridge Fitness Challenge to run through the Main Ridge Reserve. So that is how this whole initiative started. It was just as basic as it seemed at the time, but it flourished into something magnificent, an excellent initiative, so persons could be aware of the different endemic species, flora. Well, this year we uniquely observed the white-tailed saberwing, which is also known as Campi, right? So all of these different additional features we have involved just to create this awareness for the locals to know about the Main Ridge Reserve.
So is it that as part of the run there are stops or something like that where you learn about the forest?
Well, we have been educating persons before the event. So we had conversation with the Main Ridge Nature Tour Guide explorers, right, where they be doing tours within the area of Main Ridge Reserve, which is a way of educating persons, as well as the day of the day of the event. We will have little information to give persons of why we are here, why we are doing this run. So that is a way that we get the word out for persons. Yeah.
And then why is it so special to have a run fitness challenge in the rainforest?
Well, this year, for the International Day of Forest, the theme is Forest and Health. So that is why we wanted to really incorporate and invite persons who are fitness enthusiasts, persons who work out a lot, is really to incorporate this way that the Main Ridge Reserve is a way of persons who would have better air quality, the benefits of the rainforest in terms of healthy water quality. It all incorporates in terms of our health and as well as learning about the rainforest.
Now, I saw recently on social media that this Main Ridge, it's a tongue twister, Main Ridge Fitness Challenge was taken to Trinidad for the Bamboo Cathedral walk and that sort of thing. Tell me about that initiative. How does that form part of what you're doing here in Tobago?
Okay, great. So we had a launch in Tobago, and then we decided that we should have a launch in Trinidad, since we are trying to encourage participants from Trinidad to come over here. Now, we had teamed up with Buffer Sports, which is known as a big running incorporation or whatever. And they had invited us to this launch in Trinidad, which it was just basically they had incorporated us with the Bamboo Mile Walk, and they also benefits, I think, is with airs, if I'm correct about that. So they had incorporated us because they knew that what we was trying to create, they know that the participants we was trying to reach out to, and since it all aligned together, that is why that whole launch in Trinidad came about.
Now, is there a cost attached to participation in this?
Okay, so persons who would like to participate in the 15K, that is a cost of $150 TT dollars. Persons who are interested in participating in the 5K, that's $120, as well as persons who want to participate in the cycle route,
$120.
And there are prizes.
Yes. So this year we have, well, this is one of our additional feature compared to 2019. We have cash prizes, right? So for the 15K, we have the first prize of $5,000 for both male and female, right? Second prize will be $3,008. Third prize will be $2,006, right? And for the 5 km and the cyclists, they also have prizes, which will be at $2,005 for first place. Second place will be $2,000, and third place will be $1,000, right? And we also have hampers for the youngest and oldest male and female participants on this challenge.
And let me ask you something. Like in terms of the challenge of it, is it an easy? How would you rate it?
Well, I would say for the 15K, it really targets those professional runners because it's uphill and a downhill. A friendlier route, we would say the 5K, which is more downhill, is that it's a bit easier. So I would say the level of it's a bit difficult if you never experienced running that route. But it's a hard challenge for the 15K. But the 5K, it's a friendly route, which is good.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to participate and you don't want to, end up in some health, some physical issues, we can always do the 5K, which is an easier one, which is good that you have that option for the stronger level participants as well as the, I wouldn't want to say weaker, but lesser level.
Yes.
So, all right. So again, can you just give us details as to when this is taking place?
Okay, great. So March the 30th, Thursday, March the 30th at 6 a.m. We meet at Sid Gray Stadium. That is where the whole event starts. If you want more information, you can check out the division page, which is at the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, Forestry and Environment. Or you can call at 639-9515. And just check out all the reforestation, well, the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation page as well. You can get information from there.
All right, great. I want to thank you so much for being on with us. It was a pleasure. And our viewers, you know what, challenge yourself.
Yes, yes. We encourage persons to come out and challenge yourself. It would be a wonderful experience. It's something that you will feel enlightened knowing that you run through a really cool, scenic, aesthetic area.
Emphasis on the cool, because
yes.
I mean, I don't know if people have ever been through the rainforest at those hours, like 6 o'clock in the morning and so on. It is cold.
Yes.
You almost need a jacket or something. It is cold. But it is really nice.
It is extremely nice. So I would say that's a perk in terms of running through the rainforest. The environment is really cool and excellent. So it's really good. It's a really good run, and I think that a lot of persons should take part in it.
All right. Again, thank you so much. Viewers, get connected and participate, challenge yourself, and hey, learn about our rainforest in the process. So viewers, don't go anywhere because we're just going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be speaking about our women police officers. See you then.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go,
Welcome to L'Image Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we are switching conversations to police. So this morning we have on set with us ASP Karen Stewart. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. So, well, I want to first start off with just a few updates on what's been going on. Now, we've seen some shooting and so on this week. I don't know what you can share with us about, just some details.
Okay, so I can't give you much details about that because these investigations are continuing. Police are working assiduously towards apprehending the perpetrators, and we are monitoring those issues. But even though those things did happen within the past week or so, it's very minimal. So I don't want people to get scared or anything like that. We are doing our best to make sure that the island remains properly secure.
All right. Well, tomorrow is International Women's Day.
Yes,
and one thing that we've gotten to look forward to, we've started to look forward to, is that march that the police does involving some of the best of our women who are in the force.
Right. So that is on. We have, this year we are having it after, the whole COVID and so on. We're having it again tomorrow, starting at 8:30 from Tambourine Square. And we will be coming downtown to the library where we would have a church service thereafter. It would not only be female police officers, but we also extended the invitation to the other services on the island, such as the Defense Force, the fire services, even the security services, to be a part of the whole thing.
All right, great. Is there any other activities planned for tomorrow?
That's it for tomorrow, but we have a whole week of activities for our women. It started on Sunday. We started off on Sunday with a games night and karaoke at Big Dog Bar, because some of these places are still unfamiliar to me. But we had games night and karaoke there. It was really, really, really fun. And then yesterday we had a symposium where we explored the whole her. That's what we called it, exploring her, from the mental aspect, the physical aspect, health-wise, as well as the mental health part. Yeah, so we covered all aspects, and the turnout was really, really great. It was not only women police there. We had members of the fire services, security services, and so on. Immigration was present. The attendance was really good, and it was really an impacting symposium. Yeah.
Great.
So, tomorrow, of course, would be the march and the church service. Then on Thursday, we have our cocktail function, where we will be honoring the Commissioner of Police. Yes, yeah. She has shattered that glass ceiling, and we are really, really excited about, being able to honor her in true Tobago style.
And this will be for first time in Tobago, having becoming
Yes,
Wow.
so we are really excited about that. Then on Friday, we have a bonfire up at Castara, right? It's like the culmination of the symposium, because ladies were given certain things to do in terms of homework, and then on Friday, we culminate that with the bonfire. And on Saturday, we have interdepartment netball, again, the police service against the services,
Nice.
including the THA, because we did extend the invitation to the THA departments for them to come out and compete against us. Let's see who's the best.
And can the public be a part of that in terms of viewing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not limited to just women, you know, the support would be great.
And where is it taking place?
That takes place at the Canaan netball court, yeah. And on Sunday, where everything comes to an end, we have cricket interdepartment cricket competition at Sid Grey. Again, come out and see how the police would perform against the other services.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Quite a long list of things.
Yes.
I mean, did the fact that we now have a woman commissioner of police, did that influence anything this year?
Actually, in terms of our activities, not really. We remember COVID kept us so restricted, so many activities, and this is an opportunity for us to reconnect, yeah, as a body, you know, with these activities, and also to treat with some of the issues that women have been facing. What we recognize is that, you know, one of the things society expects is that a woman would always be strong, you know, she takes care of everybody else and doesn't take care of herself. She puts everybody else first. When you're a mother, you know, or a wife, you could be sick and you would get up and you would do everything else to make sure everybody's okay. That's what women do. So we took this opportunity to take care of the individual, to have the individual understand, if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of anybody else.
Certainly not.
Yeah, so that's what we're targeting.
Now, there's something special about the police force in Tobago, and
Yeah.
that is the fact that there's almost more women in there than men.
Yes, there is a bit more women in Tobago than there are men. Yeah.
And how does that work? You know, I mean, is it any difference to the divisions in Trinidad and so on with that the different ratio of women police to male police?
Well, we make it work because we have to make it work. Remember, we are policing an island, so we work with whatever resources we have. Hence the reason, you know, there was that drive to recruit more male officers, to recruit male persons on Saturday last year. There was that drive so that we can augment the strength because we are woefully inadequate. But we make it work. It is not different to any other divisions because the same challenges we face and whatever, but we manage with the resources that we have. Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of just that the women, the amount of women that are there, how has that affected just the way that you guys are able to relate to the public?
I've not had any complaints.
Well, that's a good thing.
So I don't think, because at the end of the day, we sometimes always talk men, women, but at the end of the day, we're police officers, right? And we're expected to carry out our functions without fear, favor, malice, or ill will. So when you deal with a situation, you shouldn't look at the gender of the individual, see that this is a police officer who came to address your issue. And the question is, was the issue appropriately addressed or addressed to your satisfaction? That is what should be the concern, not the gender of the individual.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And then in terms of, you know, why do we have so many women? What do you think attracted so many women to the police force?
But it's not, I want to be clear, we are not in the majority in the TTPS, huh?
Well, at least in Tobago.
It's only in Tobago.
Yes.
And that is largely because the persons who live in Tobago are here. Yeah. So that you'd find that more than likely when you pass out or graduate, as we pass out as we say in the service, but graduate from the police academy, they tend to send you closer to where you're living. So if you have mostly women, that's where they will go. Yeah. I mean, you try as much as possible to balance it out, but it's not always that practical. Yeah.
All right. And then in terms of the recruitment drive that you recently had to get more young men on board,
right?
Was that successful?
I would think that it was, because I saw the long lines based on photos and so on. And however, I do want to say that it was mostly Trinidad males that were present, not our Tobago males. I don't know why that is so, because I mean it was being publicized and that sort of thing. So I don't know what is causing that lack of interest in the police service from Tobago males. Yes, so, but it was really, really well attended. I can't give you figures as yet because the police academy has not provided us with that data. But as soon as that comes to hand, we'll make it known.
Is it still open for people, or is it that it's on? I mean, you have to wait for those recruitment days.
So prior to COVID, there was a walk-in process. Yeah. So as the place has started opening back up, I don't know what the police academy or how they would choose to address that whole issue of recruitment, if they would revert to having the walk-in process or they would do mass screening like they did last Saturday. But I can tell you though, is that they have a backlog of applicants already inside, especially women. Yeah, hence the reason you'd find that the recruitment drive was solely for men, because they have a lot of women on the waiting list waiting to be processed. So the likelihood of them doing any kind of screening for women anytime soon is very unlikely.
No, I mean, I just want you to talk about your personal experience, just as being a woman, being in the force, you're an ASP, in the force and so on. You know, like what's that been like for you?
Okay, so I have 27 years service this year. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right. So I've seen the service evolve. Yeah. When I just joined, a young Tobago girl going to Trinidad, you know, and then graduating and going into a particular division. And I, for the first time, experienced what sexism was like. Yeah. So I know what that is like, because coming out of Tobago, you know, you don't know those things. And that was like a shocker for me, because I saw my male counterparts being given certain privileges, you know, and I want to be perfectly clear, I was not afraid to work. So you could have sent me anywhere. I was quite, because I was, you know, you at that age, you're young and you're excited and you want to do just about everything. So I was quite the person who felt that I could do everything that my male counterparts could have done, but I wasn't given that opportunity. However, that did not prevent me from pushing forward and, you know, doing all the stuff that was given to me, and I did it to the best of my ability, so much so that within my 3 years of service, I ended up in a specialist section because of the work I was doing. Yeah. And when I got into that section, that is where I think things changed for me, because at the helm was a senior woman police called Kathleen Weeks. And she was the one who inspired me as to how it is, you know, how a woman in a male-dominated profession should be, how she should adjust, how she should manage people, and that sort of thing. And that is what worked for me coming through the years. She has been my mentor, because I saw her as the person in charge of that department, speaking amongst regional heads as the only woman, the first woman probably in the TTPS operating in that department, you know. And she was, I speak with a passion, because
you can see it. We can totally see it.
She just inspired me, and you know, she had such class. Yeah, she did it with such class. Even when she was challenged by our male counterpart, she did it with such class. She responded with such class, and that is what inspires me. So now, as I am in a supervisory capacity, you know, I treat with people, not gender.
Great.
Yeah. So I don't allow gender to determine how I treat with a situation. A male comes to me, I treat with him, not his gender. That is not important. The work has to be done. Yeah, we all signed up to do this job, and we need to make sure that it's done to the best of our ability.
And that is the true essence of what it means to have gender equity in our world. And of course, that is the theme for International Women's Day. And I want to thank you, first of all, for your service and your dedication to us in Trinidad and Tobago. And yes, we are happy that we have women like you in the force, making that difference and inspiring others as well.
Yes.
And thank you for being on this morning and sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right, viewers. Well, that's how we're going to wrap this morning's show. We have a very special show planned for you tomorrow, so you don't want to miss that out. So you want to tune in and have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.
Wake up and hail my neighbor. 60,000 people strong.